Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm Pablo Penny, a consultant at Feature. We're a mobile growth consultancy based in Berlin. You might know us from the mobilegrowthstack.com, which Andy Carvel initiated, or aceostack.com with Moritz Dan. We've helped over 30 apps with mobile growth audits, mobile marketing automation, and I mainly do app store optimization, which I'll be talking about now. More specifically, a framework which we recently developed called the keyword optimization cycle, which really helps with kind of having a systematic process of increasing your app's visibility in the search. So the opportunity for keyword optimization is quite high. Now 2/3 of installs are actually from search within the app and Google Play stores. And we know that nearly half of that is actually broad search. So instead of searching for a brand, like I'm using the example of Audible, the audiobook app, people will search for books or podcasts. So the opportunity is that 3 out of 10 installs are these kind of generic searches. Yeah, so we developed this kind of framework because we found with our clients it's keyword optimization. It can get quite complex, and there's a lot of different activities which you need to look at. But in the end, it's kind of a cycle of something you need to repeat and do again and again. So we kind of split up keyword optimization into 4 different phases, starting with a research phase, where you basically create a backlog of keywords, a large backlog. You can start with brainstorming. What helps is looking at what kind of keywords your competitors rank for, or what kind of keywords are relevant in the category. Also auto-suggestions, because considering auto-suggestions in the search, they're really important, and using a keyword planner tool such as Google Keyword Planner tool to firstly just gain a really large backlog of anything that could be relevant to your app, and I'll talk about that in a bit more depth in a minute. The second stage is basically prioritizing this backlog, because you might have a backlog of a few hundred or even 1,000 search terms, and you want to look at which ones are really relevant to your app. And there's different ways of doing that. One very important thing you need to look at is search volume data, which is connected to search ads, data from Apple, and obviously current keyword ranks, and how competitive certain keywords are, how relevant keywords actually are to your app. So that's the second stage. And target stage is basically inserting the relevant keywords into your metadata, into your title, short description, in iOS 11, the subtitle, and also into other assets which relates to visual word recognition, like inserting it into your screenshots or feature graphic. And then fourthly, you're not really done by just inserting this. You need to kind of measure. Are you actually getting an uptick for certain keywords? Are you dropping for other keywords? Is there an overall increase in visibility? So basically really monitoring how you do with this kind of keyword optimization is really important. Later on, you kind of create a report and you think about I might need to go back to the research stage, look at other keywords. So that's why this kind of process is something you just repeat again and again, and an iterative process, so to say. So going into the first stage, what really helps for us and what's essential is setting up having a proper systematic process in place. We use this kind of keyword strategy where we divide by these 4 different stages and kind of look at every single stage individually, how many keywords we've gathered in each stage, and when we've kind of narrowed it down to about 40 in stage 3, the target stage, that's when we insert it into the metadata. Also, we kind of look at which stages have we completed, which stages do we need to go back to. So it's really essential to have this kind of systematic process in place, because you'll have a huge lot of keywords, and really need to make sure that you kind of prioritize and target these right. So the first research stage, if you're doing keyword optimization for the first time, what really helps is just brainstorming around. For example, with the Audible app, you could think like, okay, people will probably search for audiobooks, books or podcasts, and for maybe free books or listen to books, you can add this to a backlog. If you've already have an app and you've already done keyword optimization, obviously what makes sense is just adding everything you already have in your title and your keyword set to the backlog. So then what else would you want to add to that backlog? You would want to look at category keywords, so which keywords are actually relevant in the category. There's a nice tool here to actually look at keywords in category and just click at the ones you want to add and then download them and add them to your backlog. Also, you can spy on your competitors, look at what keywords your competitors actually are ranking for, and you might want to include those. You can see here that there's LibriVox as a competitor to Audible, and basically you might want to add things like literature or fiction, because those might be useful keywords, but we'll go into whether they are actually useful in a minute. AutoSuggestion is really important. Looking at what pops up in the search when you, for example, put in audio. So here you'd see that for the App Store, it's audiobooks, also audiobook together, or audio Bible, audio recorder, maybe not that relevant, but then looking at this and kind of adding the relevant ones to your backlog, that helps you gather like a large amount of keywords. Remember, in this stage, also, it's not that relevant, like if every single keyword is the right one. You just want like a huge backlog of ones that might be relevant. So this helps getting auto-suggestions from both Google and Apple. The Google Keyword Planner tool is really useful just to get like a huge amount of keywords. So if I just add audiobooks into this planning tool, then I get around 700 results. They might not all be relevant, but you can kind of go to the tab, add group ideas, and just add relevant group ideas. In the end, download that, and again, add it to your backlog. So it'll give you like a huge number of ideas rather than having to come up with every single keyword yourself. So the next stage, prioritizing this. So we've got this huge backlog. Let's say we've got 1,000 different search terms. How are we going to prioritize that? So Apple Search Ads, actually, there was a great workshop on that before. Really helps you get like insight on which search terms might be valuable, and you can use a mobile measuring partner for that. Otherwise, tap-through rate and conversion rate, they can also indicate like the relevancy of your search term. So search ads conversion, if you have like a budget to run search ads, that can really help with knowing more about which keywords are relevant. This is a very important key stage of prioritizing this large backlog. So basically, you want to prioritize based on volume, which is an indicator from 5 to 100, which Apple provides, and you can basically, the backlog which you created, you can upload it into an ASO tool and see for every single search term what the actual volume is. The higher the volume, the more people search for the for that keyword. What we do is we kind of calculate a volume times relevancy score, because a search term, it might get a lot of volume, but it might not be relevant to your app. So if you get like if you have like a book app, and let's say you've got like a keyword like music, and that gets a lot of volume, but that's not relevant to your app. So you just want to include keywords which are actually relevant to your app. So kind of think about the ones you want to include here, and look at how much volume they actually have, because even if a keyword has like loads of volume, it might actually be really competitive. So you can see that, for example, book has got like a competitive score of 99, so it's really competitive. So if you rank for book like in the App Store and maybe rank 30, that won't get you that many installs. So it's often useful to like target niche keywords, which are less competitive. So basically, we've narrowed down this kind of backlog to, let's say, maybe 50 keywords by like looking at the volumes, looking at the relevancy, the ones we want to include. Now we want to add them to the metadata. And in iOS, currently the title is about 50 characters. It's actually 50 characters. And with iOS 11, it'll be 30 characters. With iOS 11, importantly, in the fall, there'll be a subtitle of 30 characters, which is also indexed. So in total, they'll have a shorter title, but a subtitle. So it's really important that both of these are going to be indexed. They're actually already indexed. So if you already have a subtitle, then anything in your title right now past 30 characters, we've just recently found that it won't be indexed anymore. And then, yeah, you can add it to your, you should add like these kind of keywords to your Play Store, like description and a short description, obviously, and to your keyword set. Importantly, in the title, you want to make sure not only that you shouldn't just like be stuffing keywords in there, but the title should like kind of make sense. Firstly, your app could get rejected by Apple or Google if you just like stuff some keywords in there. And secondly, it's important for conversion. So the title should make sense for people to kind of want to download the app. Visual word recognition, I really like this example of Tiny Scanner. It's clear from the icon that it's a scanner. It's clear in the title that it's a scanner. It's clear from the screenshot that this app is a scanner. And that means that more people will actually download this app because they can clearly recognize like this keyword, this essential keyword scanner and all of the assets. So yeah, we've inserted all of these keywords into the assets and into the metadata. Now we want to actually monitor and track keywords. And there's tools to do that. You can see whether a keyword, how it performs over time, its history. You can see an overall visibility score. Some tools provide that. And you can see, for example, there's been kind of a downfall and uptick for a certain keyword here. So it's really important to kind of look at which ones you may fall for because you want to maybe improve on that later on. This is like a process where you'll be falling for certain keywords and rising for others because your competitors are obviously doing keyword optimization as well. And you want to measure your organic uplift maybe with a tool like Tune, or you can do it on iTunes Connect. Look at the analytics and look at search through app units via search. Importantly, I said it's an iterative process. It's really important that you're not done once you've actually monitored. You want to see like which ones did you drop for, are there other important keywords which you need to include, have like your competitors gotten like past you in the ranking, and so on. So it's a process which you kind of improve and improve, an iterative process. Importantly, keyword optimization, it's only one activity of the ASO stack which we developed at Feature, which we use for our clients to really look at all the different activities which you need to look at when you do ASO. So for example, featuring, which become even more important with iOS 11, and your assets such as feature graphics, screenshots, which you can A/B test in Google Play, and also other things like ratings, reviews, search ads, and so on. So it's one essential activity, but it's only one out of many activities. Yeah, some changes, I mentioned them, changes in iOS 11. There will be a subtitle, which is indexed. Right now, that just says the developer name, but you'll actually be able to put keywords in there from the fall. And the shorter title, of course, of 30 characters. So 30-character title, 30-character subtitle. In-app purchases, big new thing. Now, I mean, they've existed before, but they can actually now be found in a search. So in-app purchases is, again, a great way of kind of getting your app to be more visible in the search. So, for example, here, Forest Explorer is directly showing up in search results. So name these right for keyword optimization. Yeah, and there's a lot of other changes regarding iOS 11, like I mentioned featuring, but we think that video previews will actually become quite a game changer in iOS 11, and video actually hasn't been that relevant in the past. Actually could even hurt your conversion, but it will pick up definitely with these new changes that it's autoplay on the product page and in the search actually. So autoplay previews. Also, no more minimum of like 15 seconds. So definitely something which you should look at. Yeah, you can read more on the ASOstack.com, like the App Store automation stack, which I said before. There's also a slide set regarding all the changes in iOS 11, and we'll obviously bring out a book on advanced App Store optimization very soon. Okay, thanks.